in education full time, and I have lots of brothers and family and a busy life, and that's me.
Yeah. Okay. So Audrey, I know there's going to be people who are in a similar position to you, and they're kind of like on the fence about this whole holistic system, like the mind body transformation. So kind of share what you were doing before, what kind of made you decide to join this.
Um, well, before I joined this, I was kind of on a path of knowing that my current habits were not very healthy and wouldn't be very sustainable for me as my kids grew up. I think one of the biggest things for me was wanting to make a change, feeling like I didn't really have a lot of time or energy with two little ones, and I kept putting it off. I kept saying, okay, when they get a little bit older, when they get a little bit older. And then it sort of dawned on me, as they get older, they're going to get faster and more active and want to do more things. And I did not want to be a mommy on the sidelines. I want to be running with them, coaching sports, going on bike rides, hikes, playing in the pool, all those things with confidence and energy and the stamina to keep up with my growing up children. So, um, both of my children were C-sections. One was an emergency that I ended up with an abdominal injury, and I couldn't really do the cardio and the workouts that I was familiar with, and it presented an emotional and physical setback. Then I had a second child via C-section. Then COVID happened, and I lost my mother. So I was in the middle of a number of things that just presented as excuses, and I got comfortable with making excuses for why my physical health was taking a back burner. And then I got to a point where I managed all of those things and I was coming out the other end, but I wasn't getting the results that I wanted with just the basics that I knew would be helpful. And that's when I reached out to Chibby.
Yeah. Wow, that's powerful. It's like you went through the valley, and then rather than staying in the valley, you were saying, let's change something to get to that peak, right? Because you could
Yes.
have just sat there with, because you had a lot on your plate, family life, a lot of emotional things that would set most people back. Rather than just sitting in it for eternity, you processed the emotions, went through it, and then said, okay, now let's make a change, right? So
Yes.
on the topic of change, I know you probably had a perception of what health and fitness looks like before joining the holistic side. So kind of share like what was different in your opinion from like all the things you've seen in the past, like whether it's the programs, the trainers, all of that, versus what you kind of experienced within our time together.
Okay. So, yeah, in the past, and just starting with what used to work with me before kids was a lot of cardio. I had time on my hands and I could go to the gym for 2 hours and run and do the things that would produce results. Post kids, post full time work, all the lack of sleep, all those things, the things that had worked for me previously weren't working anymore.
Mhm.
And everywhere you turn, especially once you hit a particular age, your news feed starts producing all of these quick fix solutions, diets, trends, Noom, food meal delivery programs, all these things that are
Yeah.
just supposed to whip you into shape. And every single thing I did use Noom, and I learned a little bit and I lost a little bit of weight and then I gained it back when I stopped. And to me, that just wasn't sustainable. There were things about, the expectations that you get into with diet and nutrition and wellness and exercise that come from the commercialized arena are money making and don't have individual goals or individual circumstances in mind. And that I think is one of the main things that sets this program apart from anything else out there is the individualization and
Hmm.
the tapping into the current resources that you already have within you and developing those and strengthening those and then adding in where there's currently gaps. For me, we've spoken a lot, like I was already a very healthy eater, but I
Yep.
was eating too much because I wasn't aware of that check in of like, am I full? Am I hungry? What do I need? Increasing proteins, that was a huge learn for me. And I
That was a
don't
tough one.
feel like I'm deprived. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything or that this is just temporary and I get to go back to something else. That's the sustainability part of this that I think is really significant.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, there's a lot of things that come to mind when I think about how different this is, but I'd say mostly it's the individualization, the coaching, the
Hmm.
meeting people where they're at and building a path of easy steps to take that don't feel overwhelming and unattainable.
Hmm.
There's no real failure here. It's all just growth and
Yep.
learning and process. And I think that's a really significant thing that I learned. And I was really, really happy to learn that.
Yeah. Beautiful. So let's go off of that into like what surprised you the most about this, because obviously it's different. Was there anything that kind of stood out? Was like a big takeaway, a big kind of shock factor that you weren't expecting before you kind of made this
I think
transformation?
a few different things. One was that perfectionism is not always a good thing. It can be detrimental to growth when you're constantly striving for perfection, which that is me in a nutshell. So,
Mm,
really breaking that down and learning that progress is good progress regardless, that there isn't an end result I'm seeking. It's a lifestyle adjustment.
yeah.
Um, Mindset shifts and habits, changing habits, I thought would be more difficult than they ended up being because instead of thinking about getting here,
Hmm.
I was taught by you to go here and then here and then here
Yeah.
and then here. And it just made it easy. Like it is not hard for me to wake up early and work out anymore. And I never used to be a morning person, but I have that internal motivation, the big why, the who I'm trying to become, that evolving person who I am now. And there's not this end result that I'm seeking anymore. And I think that takeaway, it's not just getting to a number on a scale, it's not just getting into a size of a pair of pants, it's who I want to become. And that is the healthy mom, the one that can go on the bike rides and the hikes with my kids, um, the person that's going to be up for joining a team sport again and not feeling like I'm too heavy or uncoordinated or going to hurt myself. I feel strong. Um, Working out with weights was something I wasn't super familiar with. Forward to that. I love feeling stronger. I didn't realize how enjoyable that part of the process would be. I've always been into cardio. I've always thought that would be my ticket um, to dropping pounds, but it's not. And I've learned so much. And I think
Yeah.
those are my biggest takeaways.
Beautiful. It sounds like your life did a full 180, switch to the other direction. Like you're already on the right path. As we always say, is like you already had a lot of the ingredients, and now you found that right recipe, right?
Absolutely.
You put it all
And
together, and now the life that you just imagined, now you're living it, and you can
yeah,
continue on this journey. And obviously, there's going to be people who's wondering, like, okay, Audrey, that is a beautiful transformation, but what kind of results did you get other than the intrinsic like values that you've accomplished, whether that's like inches or scale or dress size um or anything you want to share, like other results that you may have experienced?
well, one of the main reasons why I decided to pull the trigger and jump in when I did was because I had suffered a knee injury a year ago. I had a
Mm,
torn meniscus, and I was told by a doctor, you can schedule the surgery or you can try to strengthen your knee and maybe lose a little bit of weight to take some pounds of pressure off that joint.
mhm.
Um, so that was one of the main reasons why I jumped in when I did. My knee is stronger. I am not going to need surgery. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't ache at the end of my days of walking around. I can do lunges. I can jump. I can use my bike. My knee is stronger. So that's like an immediate significant difference in 3 short months. I've lost, I think, an overall of about 2.5 inches around my waist. I've
Nice.
lost 15 pounds. Bye bye.
Let's get it.
Um, my hair in the shower doesn't fall out the way it used to. My stress levels are way lower. My
Mm,
sleep is better. My skin is healthier. I am more present with my partner and my children. My pants are looser. It's kind of endless right now, the actual physical results. I've had numerous people ask me what I'm doing.
mhm,
Um, People that I saw 2 months ago are like, wait, what? How? And I'm even surprised by that because this has not been a program for quick results. And I
mhm,
look at those progress photos from end of November and I compare them to the ones I took last week. And there is
mhm.
definition where there wasn't definition. There are shadows where there were body parts. It's been so amazing to see how quickly things have changed when that hasn't been a goal.
Yeah,
But yeah, lots of improvements.
beautiful. Wow. I'm like taken aback. Is because it's always a beautiful thing when you just make the decision to commit to yourself. And with that decision, because you have the results, was there any like fear? Because most of my clients experience fear hesitancy before embarking on a journey like this, because it is a commitment, right? So
Yes.
was there any fear that you experienced, and like how did you overcome them? Because there's probably a mom or a woman in your same position who may be feeling those feelings that you felt before joining. Because obviously you see the other side now. You're having the
Yeah.
strength, the energy, you have the results physically and more importantly internal. But like imagine if you didn't decide and you just stuck to that fear or hesitancy, like what would you say to that type of person?
Don't stay there. It's not worth it. It's not worth to stay there and make excuses. Everything good that happens in life comes with a little bit of risk and a little bit of fear. I know for me, a big hesitation was the cost. Being honest, it was like, that's a lot. And what really brought me around to it was like that, like I have to invest in myself. It's now or later, right? Health wise, you're investing in preventative measures now. You're taking the vitamins, you're doing all the good things now, or you're paying
Mhm,
for it down the line in a hospital, knee surgery, whatever. And for me, I looked at it like I would never hesitate to spend money on professional development, right? I go to
mm,
conferences, I pay for courses, I invest in my career because there's an immediate turnaround for that, right? Financially. Yes, this is a financial investment, but the physical turnaround is
mhm,
immeasurable. There's no dollar sign you can put on what it feels like to feel good, what it feels like to get scared and move through that. Yes, there were hesitations. Am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to fail? Am I going to disappoint myself? Am I going to waste
mm,
my time and money and energy and not get out of this what I want? Well, you get out of it what you put in. If you're willing to commit, you're going to get results. There's your why, that deep why is in there. I wake up to it every morning. I look at it in the mirror every day. I see it in my children. It's worth it. It's worth every penny. It's worth every waking hour early in the morning. It's worth every drop of sweat and every pound
mm.
that's shed. It's worth it. You are worth it. I have it written on a post-it on my mirror. I am worth it. I deserve this. And I do. And so does everyone else that wants to make this change.
That was powerful. You inspiring me listening to this right now. Wow. And it's just so beautiful because is the mindset mastery that we went through instilled this kind of self assurance, right? Even when you're speaking, like how you're speaking now versus when we first, I can even hear it's like you have like a lot more conviction in your voice, and
Absolutely.
that's just a beautiful thing because you had a dream or a vision of how you wanted the world, and obviously you kind of helped facilitate that change. However, you were the one who had to do the actions and believe it to be true for you, and we just helped you guide you through that process. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. I mean, we can kind of pause it here. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll just no, it's gonna chop it here. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. No, I truly appreciate that, and um, yeah, I'm always taken aback to see how much you can change in such little time. I
I'm
think
blown
that's
away.
what.
I'm blown away that it's only been 3 months. Like it's like when I really think about where I was 3 months ago, mentally, physically, all the things, and like I'm nowhere near the end of what I want to, where I want to be. But
Mhm,
instead of feeling like hesitant and reserved and like I'm not sure I can keep doing, like my habits are different, my mindset is different. I'm aware of the things that are valuable and important. I've got post-its all over my bathroom mirror. Like this is me. It's
mm,
not like I'm afraid of falling back into something else anymore because that's not, that person's not there anymore.
mhm,
And like I haven't reached my weight goal. I haven't reached yet. I haven't reached those things yet, but this is in motion. It's moving forward. I feel confident. I know I got up
mhm.
today and did my workout. I told you yesterday I'm done. I'm all done. I'm gonna go out on my own now. And I woke up this morning and did my workout. My hardest
Nice.
Friday one that leaves me the sweatiest and the most out of breath. And I did it and I
Good.
loved it. And I've got plans for the walks this weekend and using my sauna and staying with it because it's just
Yeah.
this is what feels good. And
The
it's
way of life.
changing habits and doing what feels good. Like it's interesting. I look around at work at some of the people that seem pretty down and unhappy,
Hmm.
and I can see why in what they're putting in their body and what
Hmm.
they're speaking from their brain out of their mouth about themselves, about their situations. And it's just, I'm so glad I'm not that person sitting around the lunchroom complaining about things. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't even go in there anymore. There's so many
You
people that
protect your
just,
energy.
and I'm around a lot of really positive people too, but I just don't associate with any of that negative crap. It's just not worth it. I don't need that around me.
Hmm.
I try to be positive and motivational for others, but I look at the people that are unhappy or super anxious or complaining, and then I look at what's on their plate, what their physical body looks like, what I know that they say they're doing all weekend long, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that's all part of your equation right there. Like, I'm
That
just
self
glad I'm in
awareness.
a different world now, not making excuses, and moved through both my C sections and the knee injury and can come out this side and feel the way I do. So it's
Yeah.
really nice.
I appreciate you for allowing me to be the one to guide you through this, right? Um, because that kind of reinforces my paradigm as well. It's like a
Absolutely.
feedback loop. Because seeing your success inspires me to keep going, right? And then
Absolutely.
your success is going to inspire someone else.
I
So
sure hope so.
yeah,
I sure hope so. It's been so wonderful. And I love all your little messages on Instagram and the Facebook thing. And
yeah,
it's so powerful. Like what you're doing is so different from what I've ever seen out there. It's been so rewarding and helpful to be a part of this. I'm really, really, really happy with that.
I appreciate that. Hey, listen, it's not the end. Um, my thing is 3 months is a foundation, so let's keep in contact, like on your journey. You have my obviously you're in the Facebook group. You have my the 832 number, Instagram, right? So I still love to see you because this is just the beginning, right? I would say the best is yet to
Yeah.
come because it's like an oak tree, right? You planted the seeds, and now the 3 months you've seen a little bit, right? It's the sprouts, but there's years of growth that happens before you see the full like vastness of what you just started. So just keep that
Yeah,
in mind. Is like, I love the now, but also understand that the best is always yet to come.
absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, nice. Thank
Alrighty.
you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate the experience. I could yeah, I can probably edit this all and whatnot, and then if you wanted to see it as well,
Sure.
um, can send it to you. After it. You'll probably see an email about it too. And
Okay.
yeah, beautiful.
Awesome.
All right now.
Thank you, Chibby.
Yeah, for sure. Anything you wanted to share? Any last thoughts, concerns?
No, not at all. No concerns at all. I'm feeling
Okay.
good. I'm happy to be able to help you out. I think what you're doing is phenomenal. I think more people are ready for this than even they realize. I think if you really put a strong emphasis in your marketing too on like that holistic mental health, how it's all
Mm-hmm,
encompassing, cover your stress, your metabolism, all that stuff as
mm-hmm.
part of this journey, I think that connection is really significant for a lot of people. And I don't think they realize that.
The connection. Okay.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That connection to like
You
your
wrote that
mental
down
health
again.
and your physical
I
health.
remember you saying that.
I think that's a really
Mm-hmm,
important thing to go off. I think more people are looking for ways to be mindful and meditate and bring that mind, body, soul connection together. I think that is precisely what you are doing.
mm-hmm,
And that balance has been what has, like, I looked at you, like, we always love these little metaphors between the two of us. I had all these puzzle pieces, but I didn't really understand what the picture was going to be. And you gave me the corners and all the sides. So now I've got like my outline of my puzzle and I can kind of know where the rest of the pieces go.
I love that.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's like you can't do a puzzle from the middle out. You always start with like
yeah,
finding the sides and the corners. And that's this Chibby foundation, right? Like that's this holistic journey foundation. You've got like your stress levels, your nutrition, your diet, your exercise, your things.
mm,
And once those walls are there, you can build in it, build on it, and put it all
yeah,
together.
yeah. That's a beautiful way to see it because now you have the structure and systems and processes so that you can put all your efforts and energies and all the pieces all within the structure, right? So you have a direction. I would say it's like rather than running around like a chicken with his head cut off, just
Yeah.
hoping for the best. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Very
Okay.
systematic. It's very like methodical and systematic, even though it just seems like it's a whole bunch of different things. It like the way you do your outlines that are in those
Mhm.
texts, like that's it's just so methodical and easy to like. I think your like prioritization thing is one of the best ones with like this is
Yeah.
where to start, this is where to hit, this is what matters most, you know,
Hmm.
and you go from there. That's like how you build off like on the worst day, what can you still do? On the best day, what can you do? So
Yeah.
yeah.